everyone, and welcome to the virtual college exploration event offered through CACRAO Strive Scan. This is the CACRAO Transfer Fair. So for those of you kind of getting in, just wanted to highlight a few things. There is a question and answer box at the bottom of the screen, and so you can click that to submit your questions. They will be answered anonymously. Your camera and microphone are off, and they will remain off just so that the presenters can get through their presentation. They will answer your questions via the question and answer box. You can also sign up for more sessions through CACRAO Transfer Fair if you go to cacrao.org, which is CACRAO.org. And then, of course, there will also be a recording of this session available on cacrao.org later as well for those of you who either miss it or just want a copy of the presentation. All right, I will go ahead and hand it off.
Great. My name is Ashley Browning, Vice President for Enrollment Management at Holland University in Virginia. We're delighted to spend this time with you today. I have three colleagues on the line with me. We all represent small to medium-sized private universities up and down the East Coast. So we look forward to sharing a little bit with you about what it's like to transfer to a private university. I know there are a lot of misconceptions out there, so we are looking forward to just making this an easy transition for you and sharing information that will be helpful. So we're going to start today's program with each of us giving a brief, about 2-minute overview on our schools so that you have a sense of who's in the room. And then we're going to cover some things that are specific to you as transfer students. So I'm going to kick us off in sharing my screen. And we'll do the Hollands update, and then I'll pass it off to my colleagues to share for their institutions and introduce themselves as well. As I said, Holland University, we are located in Roanoke, Virginia. The most important thing for you to know first about Holland is that we are a women's college. So all that we do is about women empowering women. We have 29 different majors. And again, at the undergraduate level, we're focused on opportunities for women. We do have co-ed graduate programs. But all women at the undergraduate level. For our transfer students, the majors that are most popular are education, both elementary and secondary, business, and psychology. So while all 29 of those majors are available to you as a transfer student, those are the ones that are most common in terms of enrolled transfer students. Holland was recently ranked a #5 best alumni network. So if you've done any research on women's colleges, you'll find that our alumni are very, very passionate about the experience that they had and wanting to ensure that for future generations of women. So we're really proud of that statistic. I think it says a lot about the connectivity that you can have to a place like Holland's even long after your time on campus. We are small, so we have less than 1,000 students on campus, and it's a 9-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So our transfer students love that you can come and be a name and not a number, and that you really get to kind of have an identity on campus. That's something that we probably all share on the line today. We really pride ourselves on helping a student be an individual on campus. Our job placement and grad school placement rates are great. So 95% of our graduates are employed or in graduate school within 1 year of graduation. We really focus during your undergraduate career on helping you build a resume before you even graduate. And many of the opportunities like internships, studying abroad, undergraduate research are just as important for you as a transfer student as they are for a first-year, first-time student. So we love helping transfer students figure out how to fit that into your path to degree. Before graduation, about 80% of our students will do at least one internship. We do have guaranteed internships for all eligible students. We're really focused on pathway programs for different graduate degrees. So we have some guaranteed acceptance agreements and guaranteed interview programs with places like the Carnegie Heinz School of Business, with the UVA School of Public Policy, with the School of Optometry, with a nursing program. So for students that are looking for assistance getting entry into some competitive grad programs, Holland is really intentional about creating that for you too. Transfer students at Holland, every transfer student who is admitted is guaranteed at least $20,000 in scholarship. So we're going to talk a little bit about affordability today, but one thing that you'll learn is that private doesn't always mean super expensive. We are all really committed to affordability and lucky to have programs that allow us to make this education accessible for transfer students. And if you're on the line interested in PTK, a PTK member at your current institution, then we have a different scholarship for you that stacks on top. So I'm gonna stop there and turn it over to my colleague who will hop in next. Oh, Jason, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. My name is Jason Letchworth. I'm the transfer admissions counselor here at North Carolina Wesleyan College. I'm in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. And I'm gonna go ahead and get my screen shared. And here in North Carolina Wesleyan College, we are a four-year private university, our college. And we have a total enrollment of approximately 2,000 students. At least 13% of those are international students. So we make up we have a big diverse group of students here on campus. The average class size is less than 30. We have the 18-to-1 student faculty ratio. And like Ashley said, that's going to be that intimate class where you're going to be known by your name and not just a number. We have at least 30 majors. And good thing about North Carolina Wesleyan College is our books are included in tuition. So that's not an extra cost that you would have here. Approximately 99% of all students here receive financial support of some type. Applications, we have rolling admissions and free applications. So anytime during the application process, you can fill out your application and be evaluated and accepted up to the week of the enrollment. For regular admission here, for a transfer student, you need a 2.0 GPA is the minimum. And as you can see right here, even that will get you a scholarship, the Transfer Opportunity Award. And we have the gold, blue, white, and opportunity, and those are based on GPA. So if you fall within that category, that's what you would, what scholarship you're automatically eligible for. And I'll go ahead and stop sharing mine. And I'll go on mute.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kelly Carroll. I am an admissions counselor here at NSU Florida. Sorry, this side. NSU Florida, down in sunny South Florida, Fort Lauderdale. We are a medium-sized private institution, and I'm going to share my screen as well. Give me just a second. All right. So we're a medium-sized private institution located, like I said, in Fort Lauderdale. We do have 17 Division II athletic teams, NCAA Division II, over 120 clubs and student organizations, 99% student participation. We have over 50 undergraduate degree programs and 30 dual admission programs. Our class size is approximately 7-to-1. And one of the really cool things about us is you're going to get a dedicated career coach for your entire 4 years, or however many you may have here at NSU Florida. Sorry, going too fast. This is just a really quick overall profile of our last year's class. We had 1,450 transfer applicants, 275 that actually attended this past fall. We are going to be test optional for the next year, both for transfer and freshmen. All of our students do receive some type of financial support from us. We do have what we call our Dean Scholarship, as well as offering the PTK Scholarship. And we accept pretty much all student grants and third-party scholarships as well. I'm going to stop sharing now and turn it over to Miss Debbie.
Hello there. Let me see if I can get my screen up here and share some good information with you guys. My name is Debbie Bell. I am the Director of Regional Admissions at St. Andrews University, located in Laurinburg, North Carolina. We are kind of unique in that we are a small institution with 3 different opportunities for transfer students. We have our main campus, which is our residential campus located in Laurinburg, North Carolina, which is right off of Interstate 95. Our second campus is located in Pinehurst, North Carolina. It is referred to as our Sand Hills campus. This campus was added to the St. Andrews main campus in 1991. It is very, very flexible. We like to accommodate our working adults at our Sand Hills campus. We have evening, Saturday, and online classes at Sand Hills. We like to say that this campus is really for those students that have at least 60 transferable credits and basically have an AA degree, but they're looking to further the education and want that 4-year degree. Classes, majors, that are offered at Sand Hills are our business administration, our psychology, elementary education, middle school education, secondary education, special education, interdisciplinary studies, as well as our teacher licensure program is located in our Sand Hills campus. We have one more campus that is very, very new to our St. Andrews family. It just opened up this fall. It is our St. Andrews University at Charlotte campus. It is the newest in the bunch. On our Charlotte campus, we have both on campus and online. So we have a hybrid mix here at our Charlotte campus. We offer our business administration in Charlotte, our health services administration degree, as well as our MBA. And one thing that's neat about this campus is that we're open for first-time freshmen as well as those transfer students. St. Andrews has rolling admissions. We have about a 14-to-1 student-faculty ratio. About 15 to 25% on our main campus are transfer students. We offer over 22 majors and 22 minors on our main campus. Students come to St. Andrews from over 35 states and 26 countries. And currently our largest country represented at St. Andrews is from Japan, which is pretty cool. We like to talk about those international students, as I think Jason mentioned as well. I've shared another screen that just has our St. Andrews University contact information and our 3 campuses. Please go to our website, www.sa.edu. Check out all those campuses and contact me for information as you need it. I'm also going to stop sharing my screen now, and I'm going to turn it back over. I think I'm turning it over to Kelly to talk about the application process. Take it away, Kelly.
Just realized I was still muted. Sorry about that. Thank you, ma'am. So as far as application process is concerned, I just put together a quick slide for you guys that summarizes the main requirements for each of our different institutions. So as Ms. Debbie just spoke on St. Andrews University, they do require a minimum of 2.5 GPA, and they accept any college credits from any post-secondary institutions. Essentially, they do want you to use their St. Andrews app for admissions, not the Common App. All of us do accept the Common App. However, we prefer that you use our specific school applications, as they are easier and faster for you and for us. You are going to be required to submit every transcript from every college and or university attended previously. So that includes if you've done dual enrollment at one school and then you finished your AA or AS at another school, we need both of those transcripts. And then also you're going to submit the Dean's Questionnaire for transfer students from your most recent institution. That is for St. Andrews. Their application, I believe, is free. Miss Debbie, correct me if I'm wrong.
You are correct. Yes,
okay.
Ms. Kelly.
Your application is free at St. Andrews University. All right, so NSU Florida or Nova Southeastern, we also require a minimum of 2.5 GPA and 24 credit hours is preferred. If you have less than, then we require you to also submit your high school transcripts. You're still considered a transfer student as long as any college credit hours beyond dual enrollment is considered transfer. If you were dual enrolled and that was it, you're not considered a transfer. You're still going to be considered a first-time freshman with sophomore or junior level credits. You're going to submit our Shark Select transfer application, which is our personal preferred application. Again, all transcripts from every college or university attended, and your transfer report, which will be from your most recent institution. Unfortunately, right now, Nova's application is not free. We do have a $50 application fee. However, there are 6 or 7 broad waiver categories that if you say yes to any of those categories, your application fee will be waived. We're not going to check you on it. So if you say yes, then you said yes and your application fee is waived. So for North Carolina Wesleyan, you have to have at least a 2.0 GPA and 12 college credit hours. If you have less than 12 college credit hours, you will be considered a freshman and you'll need to apply as a freshman. You're going to submit their application for admissions and also all transcripts from every previous college or university attended, and their application is free. And then last but not least, Holland University. They also require a minimum of a 2.5, and any college credits post-secondary are accepted as transfer. Again, if you only did dual enrollment, however, you are still considered a freshman, I believe. You're going to apply for admissions using their Holland's application for admissions, submit all transcripts from previous institutions. You'll submit the college report from your most recent institution, and for Holland's, they do require a letter of recommendation. Now, all of our institutions for the next year are test optional, which is really awesome for you guys. If you want to submit your test scores, you're more than welcome to, but they are not required. We do all take a holistic approach when we're reviewing transfer applications. So I think the next person I'm turning it over to is Miss Ashley.
Thanks, Kelly. Yeah, I'm going to hop in and talk a little bit about the transfer credit evaluation process. Let me see if I can share my screen again. Here we are. Okay, so as a transfer student, we know one of the most important things to you is your pathway to degree. So how long is it going to take me? How many semesters? How many general education requirements do I have fulfilled? All that stuff. So this transfer credit evaluation, or sometimes called TCE, is all about helping you get that information. So there are a couple of things for you to know about these. Every school's transfer credit evaluation process is different. And it can also be different if you are transferring from one of the community college system schools within the state versus from another public or private university, a four-year university where you are. So when you get to the stage in the application process that you're looking at transfer credit and how it's going to come over, you want to make sure and do this with each of the schools that you're considering, because it will be different at every single one. But just at a very basic level, to ask for a transfer credit evaluation means you're looking to say, here are the credits that I earned at this school. How will they be applied at your university, so that you have a sense of how long it will take you to finish and which of your requirements are already fulfilled. In some cases, four-year universities have guaranteed admissions agreements, kind of like what Kelly was just describing with, over a 2.5 and a certain number of credits achieved. So you'll want to ask schools about that, because it is possible that if you're coming from a school in a specific community college system, there could be a guaranteed admission agreement per degree. So let's say you're getting your AS in social sciences. There are some colleges and universities that if you complete that full degree, they're going to let you come all the way in with your gen eds completed. There are others that are going to ask you to complete a transfer module. So transfer module, these are specific classes that you need to take in order for you to arrive with all of your general education requirements fulfilled. So I know this gets a little confusing, but basically what you want to remember is that just because you're on a degree path at your local community college or at another four-year university, that doesn't necessarily mean that the school that you're applying to is going to accept all those credits the same, or that they won't have additional requirements that they want you to fulfill, because we all have kind of different gen ed requirements. So the transfer modules are publicly available from everybody's websites. You can go out and look at those if it's a school that offers one of those. Most schools also have a transfer guide. So this is a document that kind of pairs up how the classes at the community college system in your region would come over to that college or university. So do they accept them or do they not? That can be helpful to you as you think about registering for courses. In particular, if you're a first semester student and you know that you want to transfer in the long run, it's a good idea to go ahead and engage in conversation with the schools that you're considering for your four-year transfer about their credit evaluation process and which path might be best for you. I can give you an example. At Hollins, sometimes, depending on the degree program that a student wants to study, it's more advantageous for them to actually follow the classes that are laid out on our transfer module, as opposed to follow the coursework that would lead them to a degree. So that's just a conversation we have about per student, what's better for you and your long range plans. And I know my colleagues would be glad to offer that advice to you also as well. We all also accept unofficial college transcripts in order to get your credits evaluated. So I know this is a tip that Kelly always gives to her students, but there's cost associated with requesting transcripts a lot. So one way for you to just kind of get over that hump before you commit, before you enroll at a school, is to ask if they'll accept unofficial transcripts, both for admission and for the credit evaluation, which we all do. And then when you do enroll at a school, that's when you'll send your final transcript and your official transcript. So you only have to pay to send it once, which is helpful. So happy to answer more questions about the transfer credit process, but I'm going to turn things over to Jason to share a little bit more about private universities and affordability for transfer students.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. All right, so I'm going to talk about affordability. Let's see. A myth is private schools are too expensive and you can't afford to go there. On average, the amount of scholarships and grants awarded by institutions total the federal funds students receive. And 99% of students here at North Carolina Wesleyan receive some type of financial aid. The biggest thing that you're going to want to start with is filling out your FAFSA. Fill out your FAFSA, put your your school's code, and that way they can have that information and award you any money that you need. Let's see. For types of financial aid, we have loans, grants, scholarships, and institutional and outside scholarships, and work-study employment. So with the loans are what you're going to have to pay back at the end. Grants are the free money like you can get through the federal government, and also through your state and institution. Work study, some schools have work study programs where you work on campus and you can use that money for your actual tuition as well. So like I was talking about, sources of financial aid that are available, federal government, like your federal Pell Grants. In North Carolina, I know we have the North Carolina Need Base. If you're a North Carolina resident, you could qualify for that. And then we have like the institutional, like the North Carolina Wesleyan, we have the NC Wesleyan grant, and that's based on, all these are based on need. And then we have any kind of private or other scholarships that you might qualify for. Also at North Carolina Wesleyan, we just started a program called LRAP, which is used to, like if you graduate and if you are making less than $50,000, we partner with LRAP through Ardeo, and they will actually pay your loans back until you get up to till you get up to that $50,000 amount. So just main thing is look at what your school has to offer, and seek out scholarships on the outside. If you need a list of websites to go to, just let me know and I can provide those. But there's many different types of scholarships available if you just seek them out. And I'll turn it over to Miss Debbie now.
Thanks, Jason. Okay, folks, where are our questions? We're anxious to answer those questions that you might have as a transfer student. I know that you're thinking about some. Maybe there's something that you want to ask that you're not sure about asking. There is not a question out there. I promise you that the four of us together have not heard probably several times. So shoot us a question. We'd love to help you answer and work through this process. Just waiting on that question. If you have one or two or three. If you don't have any, why don't I ask one or two? And what we'll do is I'll just ask each panel member what their answer is, and maybe that will help you work through this transfer process. So the first question I'm going to ask to each of our panelists is, as a transfer student, colleges, what is the most important thing, or what's the most important advice you can give a student that is thinking about transferring? And let's start with Ashley at Hollins.
Sure. Well, for me, the best advice I can give you is to use your admissions counselor as a resource, because I do think applying as a transfer student, it's just a little more complicated. There are a couple extra steps. I find that transfer students are much more focused on what you know you want in your educational experience, which I love. But you need some help just understanding the kind of nuts and bolts of the application process, the credit evaluation, financial aid, and that's why we're here. So I would just say, don't be afraid. No question's too small. We love hearing from you, and reach out to the people that you're interested in.
Thanks, Ashley. Let's move on to Kelly. Kelly, what would be your best advice to a new transfer student?
Okay, so honestly, the best thing that I advise, one of the things that I advise a lot of my transfer students, and this is keeping the student first, is that sometimes it's not best to transfer right now, if that makes sense. For example, if you need to take one more math class before you go into a specific program, for instance, nursing, sometimes it may be smarter to stay where you are and save a little bit of money before you go ahead and transfer to the larger or private, or before you transfer to a different institution. And that's more so just keeping you and your sanity and your pocket, your financials in mind, and also better equipping you for when you do transfer. You're better positioned for when you do transfer, because sometimes that extra class is going to boost your GPA and increase the scholarship that you can get from us. So just, you know, that would be advice that I offer a lot to transfers.
Thanks, Ms. Kelly. Jason, let's go to you and ask you the same question.
All right. Kind of what Kelly was talking about at the end. I think the biggest thing is just do your best, because those A's and B's, they do boost that scholarship when you try to transfer. And you know, the better you do, the more money essentially you receive, and that helps out a tremendous amount. So that would be my biggest advice: try to keep those grades up.
And I'm just going to ditto what my three colleagues said. And one thing I would also add is talk to us. If you have a question or a concern, pick up the phone, give us a call. If you don't want to give us a call and we understand you're busy, shoot us an email. We love to hear from you. So just don't rule us out because you're intimidated by asking. So please, please, please ask us. Now this is a, yes, ma'am, Miss
I
Kelly.
was just going to add on to that. In addition to calling or emailing, I don't know if you all have university issued cell phones, but you can always shoot me a text as well. We are trying to be as available as possible, especially during this time. So reach us the way that you communicate.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kelly. Thank you. Thank you. One other thing one more question I'm going to throw out to the panelists, because we hear this a lot, and maybe it's because we do deal with a lot of non-traditional students at St. Andrews. But one thing we hear a lot is we can't afford you. You're looking strictly at our sticker price. I hate to use that word, but you're looking at what we have listed on the web. If you guys have a student that is very interested in you as the university and everything you have to offer, what's your advice if they look at you and think, I really can't afford you? What's your recommendation, Miss Ashley?
Well, I would say my experience has been that transfer students are shocked at the affordability once they actually navigate through the process. So once you see the amount of merit and need-based aid that we're able to offer, folks are really surprised. So it doesn't cost you anything to submit the FAFSA or be considered. So let that door be open to you before you close it, just based on assumptions.
Absolutely. Thank you, Miss Ashley. Okay, Miss Kelly, same question.
I'm going to say ditto what Ashley said. Don't make the assumption. Go ahead and apply, submit the FAFSA, and let's see what we can do for you. Because like she said, a lot of our students are shocked when they realize how much or how high the scholarship value is that is provided towards transfer students. And on top of the merit and need-based scholarships, there's also third-party scholarships and grants that we accept. And so I'm always telling my students, quite honestly, whether freshman or transfer, if I'm speaking to a student, I'm encouraging them to go on Google and Google scholarships and apply for any and every scholarship that you see. Something that I learned while I was in college some years ago is that there are quite a few scholarships out there that are never awarded because people don't apply for them, or because people think they're too small. $100 scholarship here, $500 scholarship there. If you apply for multiple of those, they add up. They definitely add up, and all of us accept those outside scholarships. And so those, in addition to the support that the institutions are providing, you'd be surprised. You might be able to get college entirely paid for.
That's awesome. Thank you, Kelly. Okay, Mr. Jason, I'm coming to you with the same question.
Okay. Like the other two have said, most people are shocked when they find out what they would actually have to pay. Like with the merit-based scholarships, PTK, I know we give $1,000. We give you $2,000 just for having an associate's degree. So if you transfer an associate degree, so if you have both of those, that's $3,000 already, plus the merit-based scholarships and need-based or grants and stuff like that. So just like they've said, check into it, find out what school or what your school has to offer, dealing with that. And then, like they said, look in the outside world. I mean, there's scholarships for being left-handed. There's people trying to give away money for you to go to school. So definitely look at all your options and don't just assume that you can't afford it.
Thank you, guys. And I'm going to, again, ditto all my colleagues. You don't know what's available and you don't know what you're eligible for if you don't apply. So if you see that scholarship, you don't know who else has applied for it. In some cases, money goes, it's still on the table when the doors open because we've had nobody apply for it. So apply, apply, apply. I think we've all said that. And don't let what we tell you or what our tuition room and board scare you. Talk to us there again. Keep that communication open. Yes.
I was just going to add to it. I know right now with the COVID and all that stuff, there's grants available that a lot of students aren't aware of. So check with your school and see what kind of, there's federal grants out there right now. Just help out those that have some kind of, if you've been affected by COVID or know somebody that has, where everything's online and stuff like that now. So check into that as well.
Also, I was going to say, don't be afraid to talk to us. Once you've applied and you've received your financial package, and if there's still a need that's not being met, don't be afraid to come to us and talk to us. Now, being completely honest, we may not be able to cover the whole need, but we may be able to give you something towards that to make that gap smaller. But you'll never know if you don't ask. So the worst thing that can happen is we say no. The best thing that can happen is you get more money. So just ask.
Awesome, Kelly. Anyone have anything else to add, Ashley?
Yeah, well, I thought as we come close to the end of our time together today, I wanted to just quickly share our contact information. So I have here, let's see if I can get to it. Let me see. I have a screen with all of our emails that I wanted to provide in case you want to reach out to us directly after today's program. Here we go. So we would love to hear from you. Please don't hesitate to reach out. As you can tell, we're a friendly bunch. So I'll leave this up for a minute and just give attendees a chance to write this down, and know we'd love to hear from you if you have specific questions. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to my terrific group of co-panelists. You all have been a dream team to work with, and we look forward to hearing more from the students on the line soon.
And just to kind of wrap up things, I wanted to share this last little piece of information for our attendees. There will be a quick survey after you leave here today, just 4 questions. Other conversation that you all will be able to sign up for more sessions in CACRAO if you just go to CACRAO.org. And then also, if you would like the recording of this, you can also go to CACRAO.org. Thank you so much for attending today.